You guys are all blaming China, you're blaming us, but it's really your own fault, and America now needs a revolution.
They rob you blind and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs ship your job to China, not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and told you to be proud while they sold your future for profit. And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulate the market, dodge tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnated wages, crippling healthcare costs, cheap dopamine, debt, and flagged wave property made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs feed your lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need.
All right, Shalom. I'd like to start off with saying, Kal Halayim Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, my elder Heroine as well. Salutations to the argument and pushing the truth, sincerity, and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, I'm coming out down by Yasha'Allah from the Lions and the Yasha'Allah camp. And this is not really a news and prophecy. I don't have an article, but I was, what I'm saying, scrolling through the book and I came across this video and it says basically we see no lies told. Like it says, don't be mad at China, says US solid your future for profit. US sold your future for profit, keeps you fat, poor, and addicted. All right. Once again, we're giving all glory and praise to you. How about Shimei Shai? And this really, man, that's it right there. That sums the whole lesson up because what they did, like with 2020, with the panic button, they totally destroyed the middle class. And how he says they manipulated the market. Like prime example, man, when I graduated high school a little while ago, 1996, and the amount of money that I'm making on my job right now, I was thinking, hoping to make that much, you know, back in 1996 when I grew up. And we're living in totally different times now. The amount of money that same amount is chump change right now, the way the market is, the way the cost of living is, and the way inflation is. You see that? And they constantly manipulate the market and play with the money, inflate the money to where it's not worth anything. And the Lord speaks about against all this stuff, man. This is crazy, man, how this devil like does all the things he does to persecute the poor of the people and get the people brainwashed into pointing blame on somebody else that has nothing to do with the whole equation. I remember when I graduated in high school, gas was like about 99 cents a gallon. You see that? And it's pushing $4 now. It's crazy. It's crazy, insane how, and it's really they talking about the cost of living is going up, but really it's the value of the dollar going down. America's losing its hegemony in the earth. These other nations are saying that we no longer want to use the greenback as a dominant currency in the trade. They want to use gold or silver or other currencies that are backed by gold or silver or their own currency, right? So the America can't throw its weight around like it once used to anymore. See that? They can't manipulate the market, the global market, like they do the American market. So what's it causing them to do? causing them to lose their power. It's just leading right up until what the scriptures say, come sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. You see that? This is all being constructed and being brought forth by Yahweh Shem Shai to promote his will. But the scriptures speak about all this, man. You know, let's matter of fact, I'm not gonna make this too long. I'm not gonna get all winded and stuff. Let's just let the scripture speak. All right, it says, let's start at Proverbs 11 and 1. It says a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. All right,
You need to
this is
wake
what it says.
up. You
Right, you heard what he said. Read it again. Proverbs 11 and 1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Right, I know a lot of what I'm saying times like to bring that out and to coincide with a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. But what's really that's talking about is money, because like they would use scales to measure the amount of money to give somebody. And if you have a false balance, you're shitting somebody out of money. And Esau's always been known to do that shit. They did it in the Greek and Roman Empire with the coin clipping. The elder did a lesson on that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they found all types of ways um to um to um to manipulate the market or manipulate money or to scheme on people or to get over on people, charging usury or interest. You see that everything this devil does is a form of, for him to profit, but a false balance is abomination. So this devil is abomination to the Most High, man. You know. So this 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 devil, right, has risen himself up according to his riches that are falsely gotten by pillaging and stealing, conniving and deceiving. Those are the way he got rich, right? And in doing so, he has turned the people against each other. Totally divided the United States, even though the United States was founded on division. But he got these people so bamboozled and like done really just like yeah, bamboozled everybody, man. Got people just believing in the false narrative and like and running with it, going so far and far down the rabbit hole that man, ain't no way out. Ain't no way out of the system but deliverance. America has to be destroyed, man. That's just it. This whole system has to be destroyed. And all the amount of terrorists that Trump is placing on these other countries, and they're swinging back with terrorists of their own. That's never been said. That's never happened before. That's insane. It's crazy. So that's not going to do the trick. The only thing it's going to do is make it worse. Only thing it's going to do is make it worse, man. So what does he do? He tries to build himself off of his riches, right? But okay, this is Proverbs 10 and 15. It says that the rich man's wealth is his strong city, right? So that's his strength, is his money, his wealth. That's what he hides behind. Because without that, he has no power structure. No, he can't maneuver without manipulating the dollar or manipulating the money and having people coercing people to be conformed to this monopoly funny money called the greenback to operate the global economy off of. Right? So now putting pressure on and oppression on every other nation because guess what? Here's how the thing works in the IMF. You know, so you have the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, right? And what that is a basket of currencies, and every currency of every nation that's in this basket of currency has a certain um what's the word I'm looking for? Value to it, right? So now, if America's the top dollar, the top dog, and everybody has to use the American dollar to have special drawing rights, right? So they have to use their currency. Let's just say it takes, just hypothetically speaking, it takes uh 10 Chinese dollars to equal one US dollar, and something that they want costs $100. They have to buy $100 worth of Chinese dollars, I mean worth of American dollars with the Chinese dollars, and what is that? $1,000 that it will cost them just to get 100, just to be able to spend 100. See how it is oppression of people? It's a Ponzi scheme that's set up to oppress everybody to keep America on top because America has no gross GDP. They don't. We don't. The United States doesn't export anything. It imports everything. It says that in the Book of Revelation. You know, all the delicacies that you see pass through the United States of America comes from other places. And dig this, right? So now you have the situation where, like, now they're saying these tariffs on these other countries are force people to start back buying American goods, right? But not that's not necessarily so because what's going to have happen is like Ford. Ford is not manufactured in America; it's assembled in America. They get most of the parts from China. You see that? So now it would be more expensive because the tariffs that America's putting on China, on top of the tariffs that China's putting on America, will make those parts even more expensive. So it will make the assembly of American products like the Ford F-150, Lariat, or whatever, or King Ranch 3500 dually, right? It will make that truck. That's the King Ranch 1500 is like a $80,000 truck. Man, it's gonna push 100, 120 by the time, you know what I'm saying, these tariffs and everything kick on with all this trade war that's going on. So what it is doing is crushing the global economy. That's not it's that's there's not gonna become anything good out of this. But you know what? It's being constructed by Yahweh Shem Shai. Come sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. We're seeing a witness on our captivity be turned back right before our eyes. All right, Um, this is Proverbs 10 and 2. It said, treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness deliver it from death. Right. So these witches that they're trying to, you know, gather up out of wickedness is not going to profit them anything. Ultimately, it's going to lead them to their destruction. You see that? So the Lord is, you know, is really bringing them to their own demise. Right. This is Proverbs 22 and 2. It says, the rich and the poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them both, of them all. Right. So, Lord is the maker of the rich and the poor. So, what does the scripture say? Because of unjust riches, and, got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And we're witnessing the transition of the kingdom being transitioned from being taken from Esau and given to the children of Israel. All right. Proverbs 22 and 7, it says, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. And that's part of some of the curses that we're going through right now. Because it said, we shall be the borrower, and he shall be the lender. And he's lending with usury. All right. It says, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. So it's servitude. It's slavery all over again. It's a different form of slavery. The thing about this slavery, you have the slaves thinking that they're free, right? Verse 8, it says, he that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. All right, it says, so, right. So everything, everything that they're trying to gather up together, right, and heap up together and get deceitfully is going to be a witness against them, right, and lead them to their destruction. So they're deliberately doing these things, not understanding that what it's going to lead them to. That shows the power of Yahweh by Shemi Yahushua. All right. Verse 15 of Proverbs 22. I'm just skipping around a little bit. It says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely become to want. Shall surely come to want. See that? He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches. And that's the whole thing that they've been doing this whole time. Man, this whole thing called the rat race of the pursuit of happiness ain't nothing but a nightmare, bro. It turns people against each other. That's what it distorts the mind of individuals where they can't think rational thoughts. People lose sleep over it. People lose sleep over it because, like, living paycheck to paycheck, going to these jobs, it's a form of slavery. The taxes being taken out is a form of slavery. There ain't nothing we can do about it but lean on Yahweh Shimei Shai. That's it. That's the only way we're going to be able to make it out of this messed up this whole system that's being set up by Esau, man. Psalms 12:5 it says, "For the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy, now will I rise," said the Lord, "and I will set him in safety from him that puffeth at him." Right. So the Lord gave us a way out. The Lord gave us a way out. Um, to escape this snare, because this whole system is a snare. This whole money system is a snare, man. All right. Let me get another one. Let me get this. Just I'll get this. No, I ain't gonna close it out with this, but I'm gonna let's get Luke 16 real quick. Luke 16 and 19. All right. Where is it? Luke 16. All right. Let's All right. Luke 16 and 19. It said, "There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores." And that's talking about, really it's talking about Jacob and Esau, if you can understand it, the rich man being Esau and the poor Lazarus being Jacob. And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table, moreover the dogs came and licked up his sores. And came Moreover the dogs came and licked his sores. All right, making it worse. All right. So we're getting the crumbs that falls off Esau's table, man. It says, "And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried away by the angels to Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried." Right. Carried away to Abraham's bosom, being carried to the kingdom. All right. I mean, and the rich man died, meaning he perished, but meaning his kingdom fell. All right. And in hell, he lift up his eyes because they're going to be in servitude for us for 1,000 years, being in torments and seeing Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, "Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame." Right. But because the hell that they put on us with this system, they're going to get 100 million times worse, man. But Abraham says, "Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receiveth thy good things," because you were given the blessing. You were given the blessing to reap the whole earth, right? "And likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted and thou art tormented. See that? So we're witnessing their system being brought down and us being lifted up, right? And they're going to be tormented because of it. And besides all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. Then said I, pray therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send me him, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren that may. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, that was the point. The point was in 25. It says, but Abraham said, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? You received good things. Thou in that lifetime received good things, and likewise lavish evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art in torment. So what was you doing when you received those good things? Let's get it. This is Isaiah 26 and 10. Isaiah 26 and 10. And it says, let favor be shown unto the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness he will deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. So are they in our land dealing unjustly, getting all that money from the United States of America? You know what I'm saying? And how not anti-Semitism this, anti-Semitism that, when they're not even the real Israelites. You see that? So everything that they're doing is going to be to their own demise, man. The Lord is puffing them up in their mind to bring them down. Matter of fact, let's get that. James chapter 5, verse 1, it says, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupt, and your garments are moth eaten. See that? Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as if it were fire. Ye have heaped up treasures for the last days, man. It's over. It's over. See that? You playing with this funny money, and that's going to be a witness against you. Because you got all the gold and silver. It says, behold, the hires of the laborers who have reaped down your field, which you have kept by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them have reaped and entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. And that's the Lord of armies, man. That's the Lord of armies. That's Yahweh. Yahweh hears the cries of the children of Israel. Really only the cries of the elect, because of all this punishment that they're getting from the system that's set up for failure, man. You know, so we have a way out of this hellhole, this rat hole, this or rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it, that's set up by Esau, for him to gain filthy lucre and riches, to push his NWO agenda. But it's all gonna fall short because of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, Lord, will this lesson edify to serve his purpose for the hope elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. With that, like Sekah Halayim, like Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Harakah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honors to the other apostles, the great millstone of my older hero one as well. Salutations to the Arkham that are pushing the truth, sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. Shalom.